This is Adam, and he suffers from gout. Try Urol. It helps to prevent crystallization of uric acid crystals in gout therapy. Urol, effective urinary alkalinizer for gout.
Good evening, I'm your host Camelia and you're watching KiniNews. PAS has responded to the Education Ministry's assurance that school canteens will continue operating during Ramadan. A PAS leader said the directive by the ministry was a bit excessive.
The PAS ulama wing has accused Education Minister Fadhlina Sidek of triggering an unnecessary polemic with its latest directive on school canteens. Fadhlina had yesterday stated that school canteens must be opened and there must be education related to civility and respect, especially in schools that have non-Muslim students. According to PAS leader Ahmad Yahaya, the ministry should instead focus on educating Muslim students about the importance of fasting and their non-Muslim counterparts to respect the practice. He added this can happen in a harmonious way without a directive for canteens to remain open when Muslim students are observing the Ramadan month. In a statement, the Pokok Sena MP said they are not stopping the non-Muslim students from eating during the day, but it is also a form of education for them to respect the Ramadan month. He added that non-Muslim students can bring food and drinks to school and consume them in a space allocated for the purpose. Ahmad further accused Fadhlina of hastily issuing the directive without respecting the Ramadan month herself. He lamented that matters like this only create unnecessary polemics and are a waste of time.
Ambiga has dared Pakatan Harapan to allow their MPs to vote freely on the citizenship amendments proposed by the government. Ambiga said this in response to growing calls for voters to lobby their MPs to vote against the amendments.
Former Malaysian Bar President Ambiga Sreenevasan has challenged Pakatan Harapan to let their lawmakers vote freely on the contentious citizenship amendments being proposed by the government. In a post on X, she said, "I dare Harapan to lift the whip and allow the MPs to vote according to their conscience on this ridiculous amendment." She added, "This is an important principle worth fighting for, and not even the BN or Pakatan Nasional governments did this." This was amid continued backlash over the amendments, particularly those that would remove automatic citizenship for foundlings. Ambiga said this in response to growing calls for voters to lobby their MPs to vote against amendments deemed regressive. The citizenship amendments encompass several different issues, one of which is to grant women the right to pass down citizenship to their overseas-born children. While that amendment is lauded, other proposed changes have been criticised as potentially worsening statelessness in Malaysia. Pasir Gudang MP Hassan Karim has openly said he would object to the Foundling Clause amendments, while former Deputy Law Minister Ram Karpal Singh has also voiced criticism of the amendments in its current version. Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail has repeatedly deflected criticism and justified the amendments as being necessary to prevent abuse by migrants, among others. The Cabinet greenlit the amendments last week, but the bill has yet to make it to Parliament.
Ahmad Saleh has accepted Rajiv's invitation to chat on vernacular schools. He said he is always open for debates or talks about the single-stream education topic.
UMNO Youth Chief Dr. Muhammad Akmal Saleh has accepted Bukit Kasing Assembly Person Rajiv Rishakaran's invitation to meet for coffee to have a chat over the topic of vernacular schools. In a post on Facebook today, he said, "Just set the date, place and time and I'll be there." Akmal added that he was always open for a debate or talk about the single-stream education topic and told Rajiv to make it happen. Yesterday, Rajiv had said that if Akmal is sincere about national unity, he should not sully debates by belittling those with different views. He said insulting those with different views is certainly not the path towards national unity. Rajiv added that before shooting down decades of successful vernacular education, he should engage everyone in dialogue. He said if Akmal was sincere about national unity, then a civil dialogue was the way forward. Rajiv said Akmal should talk to the political parties and NGOs who feel strongly about vernacular schools and understand where they are coming from. Both Akmal and former Penang Deputy Chief Minister P. Ramasamy have been involved in a heated exchange over the vernacular school subject the past week. This was after Akmal questioned the logic behind Ramasamy espousing a Bangsa Malaysia while insisting on vernacular schools, saying that such arguments are why racial unity can't be fostered. In a response to Akmal's swipe against Ramasamy, Rajiv offered to buy Akmal a coffee and have a chat over the topic.
Still on the topic of vernacular schools, Ramasamy has defended academic Teo Kok Seong over his remarks on the issue. Ramasamy said he does not agree with Teo's views, but it does not mean the latter should be arrested simply because his opinion was different.
Former Penang Deputy Chief Minister P. Ramasamy said the government or any parties who have differing views should engage in a healthy discourse rather than resorting to police action. Ramasamy said this in response to an investigation paper being opened against Teo Kok Seong over his remarks on how vernacular schools propagate racism. In a statement uploaded on his Facebook page today, Ramasamy said he does not agree with Teo's views on vernacular schools, but it does not mean the latter should be arrested simply because his opinion was different. He also slammed Seputeh MP Teresa Kok for calling the police to take action against Teo instead of engaging in discourse or debate on vernacular schools. He said rather than logically and rationally countering the invalid arguments of Teo, she asked the police to take action against Teo for spreading false news about Chinese vernacular schools, a typical DAP response of non-intellectualism. Yesterday, Education Minister Fadhlina Sidek told the media that Putrajaya has no intention to abolish the vernacular school system. She said vernacular schools are constitutional and fall under the Education Act 1996 and they should be preserved. Fadhlina's remarks were in response to recent polemics surrounding vernacular schools following Teo's remark.
Faiz Naaman has joined PKR. The former Bersatu Supreme Council member announced this on Facebook yesterday following a meeting session with Amiruddin Shari at the latter's residence on Sunday.
Former Bersatu Supreme Council member Muhammad Faiz Naaman has joined PKR. Faiz announced this on Facebook yesterday, saying that together with him, former Dengkil Assembly person cum former Selangor Bersatu Youth Chief Arif Ashan Abdullah have been accepted as PKR members. He added he's thankful after being partyless for more than 6 months. On August 7th last year, Faiz resigned as a Bersatu member, citing irreconcilable differences. He claimed that the party was not respected by Perikatan Nasional's largest component, PAS. Faiz also said Bersatu was keen to a poorly managed public toilet which has no future without necessary reforms. Meanwhile, Free Malaysia Today reported that hundreds of Bersatu grassroots members are purportedly joining PKR for various reasons. The report, quoting an anonymous source from PKR, said this is due to the members' inability to advance their political careers in Bersatu. According to the source, the exodus, including Bersatu division leaders, had started happening and is expected to increase towards the end of the fasting month.
Talks between Warisan and UMNO on working together in the next Sabah election are still ongoing. This is according to Shafi Abdal. He said their cooperation is to ensure that every future administration is geared towards ensuring that Sabah is a priority.
Warisan President Shafi Abdal said both his party and Sabah UMNO are still discussing teaming up in the next state election. Shafi was quoted by Utusan Malaysia as saying that Warisan does not mind working with Sabah UMNO as long as the cooperation is directed towards the well-being of the people in the state.
We are flexible. Yang penting kepada kita harus ada pertanggungjawaban pihak pemerintah yang ada. Pertama ialah memastikan supaya in the mind dalam kepimpinan yang ada, keutamaan mesti di Sabah, ya. Jangan hanya fikir Kuala Lumpur, ya. Kerana itu menjadi keutamaan kepada kita. Kerjasama ini untuk memastikan supaya setiap pentadbiran yang masa akan datang, ya, menjurus ke arah bahawa fokus mereka pastikan Sabah menjadi keutamaan kita. Pembelaan terhadap rakyat Sabah itu menjadi keutamaan.
Shafi also told reporters in Parliament that he was from UMNO previously and had even served for 29 years, aside from helping the Sabahans with all his might throughout that period. Previously, it was reported that Warisan was ready to accept any formula from Sabah UMNO, especially in matters concerning the Chief Minister position, if the cooperation between the two parties can be realised in the run-up to the state election. Questions surrounding the potential candidate for the Chief Minister position were sparked after Warisan and Sabah UMNO gave the impression that they would work together in the next state poll to topple Sabah Chief Minister Haji Nur and Gabungan Rakyat Sabah GRS. The Sabah Assembly term only ends in October 2025, but Haji November last year hinted that state polls might take place earlier than planned.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilea. Thanks for watching.